King Broly hops in immediately and wants me to play Kid Chameleon. Alright. I'm not playing Flintstones again.
You're gonna have to paint that wall.
The wall awaits you. Now, funny thing, there is a George Foreman knockout boxing for the Megadrive as well. Just an FYI. Let's see, let's head through all these things and see if we can find the bloody game. There we are. Here is Kid Chameleon. Mr. Gimmick for the Famicom. I do not have a Famicom available. Not even in emulated form, sorry. That is the most badass arcade ever, seriously.
It's certainly very 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a Fallout vault or something. Now, allow me to say it here right away that if Toejam and Earl is a, well, concentrated 90s culture, this intro and the following game is a concentration of 90s gaming. Because, my god. Now, I always found this interesting because Super Mario Brothers started the trend of jumping up to destroy things by hitting them from below. However, what few people realize is that Mario actually uses his fist. You can tell by the sprite that he is actually punching the blocks. But every other game after Super Mario Brothers has you slamming your skull into rock. That doesn't...
Which is a great model for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make much sense, does it? Gotta love that crouch, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess because people looked at it but not closely enough to notice that he was punching it. And it just became a sort of meme of its own. To be fair, in later games, when it was so established, he does use his head. He doesn't punch.
Yeah. For some reason they decided that since everyone was thought he was doing something stupid, they might as well, make him do something stupid.
Yeah, it's strange the things that pass on, too, because Mario 3 untimidly used a tanuki.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense to Americans at all. And those never caught on in any other game, which is strange.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I think that's a good example that shows that when it comes to video games, many cultural things do not actually need translation because, well, Americans thought of it as the flying suit, and that was basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it so painful when you see the attempts at localizing some games and other media where you... Well, I could bring up Pokemon and so on, but I think people are mainly familiar with just how horribly butchered the original American version of that was.
Tanuki are raccoon dogs to rats. They are different animals. The Tanuki has some cultural myths built around it, including the fact that they have enormous testicles, and it's a little fun. There's a movie called there's a movie that basically has Tanuki fighting against humans. It's an animated movie, and they tried to translate it.
It's by Miyazaki, the same man who made Spirited Away and several.
Yeah, I think it's by Ghibli Studios, but I didn't think it was his film.
He's not the director, but he was a part of the production.
Yes, okay, that's probably correct. But yes, the American version has some trouble explaining what exactly the Tanuki are doing, because they call it something like, "Oh, I took out my magic pouch," for when the Tanuki take out their giant, basically scrotums and use them to float around.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've always loved the classic Japanese stories, such as when they mention a group of lumberjacks lost in the forest who happen upon a small cottage out there, and they see a man inviting them in, and when they get in, it turns out that the cottage is a lot larger on the inside. And after some more or less interrogating the man just how the hell that works, they realize that he is actually a Tanuki because they find the leaf he has been using to transform himself. So they run out of the house and turn around only to realize that the entire house was actually the Tanuki scrotum. I mean...
And here I thought it was the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Yeah. But really, I mean, say what you want about culture and so on, but man, Japanese have some really interesting stuff. Now, the thing is that this game isn't particularly hard as such. It just it expects you to have a power at all times, which means that if you don't, you are in trouble. And then, of course, the other fact that, I mean, this here is a good example. I mean, if you do not have the samurai armor when you get here, you can't actually jump on top of this guy without him hurting you first. Let's see if we can't find another suit or something. No? Crap. Well, precision platforming time. I always love when a leap of faith sends you straight into a spike. It shows that they really care, you know? Oh dear. Let's not fall down, shall we? Ooh, there we go. Right.